like, what are we trying to achieve today? And for me, it's about, you know, showing people, you know, no matter what pot you've got at home, how to plant into it, and really discussing all the different varieties of pots and what's the best way to actually pot up your plant. But I guess we'll have a coffee first on the way. What are we hoping to find at the recycling centre? I'm hoping to find a lot of pots, which we probably won't. But we're trying to find what people have at home and what they, you know, what they can work with, what they've got, something that maybe doesn't cost a lot of money as well. These canisters, and you could turn them around so you don't have the. They could be cool. We'll come back. Oh, now that's nice. That could look really cool. I'll get that one as well. There's a lot. Now there's not many with holes, but that's because these aren't actually planters, but we're turning them into planters. So we're recycling here and we're reusing, which is really good. This is really cool. I'm surprised. I thought we wouldn't have much luck. Okay, we'll get this done. Okay, we're going to head home from the recycling centre and we're going to show you how to pot up our new potted plants. Okay, so we're back at home and we have been lucky enough to source some really cool little planters. So now the important thing to remember is that, you know, they need a good clean, because what happens is you're actually spreading disease onto your new plants. So we need to make sure that these recycled planters are nice and clean. Now the best way to do that is to fill up the sink, which is what I'm doing here, or a container, a bucket of water, and then add a little bit of eucalyptus oil or some vinegar. And that's probably the most natural way to make sure they're nice and clean before we go planting them out. So now that we've cleaned all our pots, the biggest thing that we need to think about is drainage. So when we pot up a plant, we need to make sure that the plant can actually drain outside of the pot. That can be hard sometimes because we've sourced this cool pot, but it actually doesn't have any drainage holes. So what to do is then we actually need to find an insert. You can find them from your neighbours lying around the house. Make sure you give it a good clean as well, and then you plant it up and pop it inside your planter. Now some of them, like this creative little planter, will actually need you to actually cut away an insert to fit so that it actually fits nicely and it doesn't hang off the top of the pot. The best way to do this is to actually cut down, Lisa taught me this, cut down and then cut along. So take that off and then cut along. So you're actually just cutting off the parts that you don't actually need. So we've just made ourselves a little insert that fits into the planter, but at the same time it's still allowing the plant to drain. And so what we actually do is we pot them up, and then when we water, we actually take them out to water, let them drain and pop them back into the planter. So we have another pot, which is a terracotta pot, and this one's great because it actually does have a hole in it and it has a little drip tray, so we can plant straight into that pot. If you have this is like we call a vessel, a vase. This can be a little bit more complicated because again it has no hole, but it looks good, so we want to use it. So the best idea for this is to find an insert that fits, but you're going to be left with a bit of space because my insert doesn't actually fit right to the bottom, and then the plant's going to be planted too deep. So what we do is we actually grab some washed or some pebbles and we can pop them in the bottom, and what that will do, I need a few, it will actually pop our insert higher in the vessel, so you don't actually need as much soil in that pot, and then your plant will actually sit down on that nicely, and you can still take it out to water. Now I'm going to talk about soil. Now there's all different types of soil, and with soil it's you pay for what you get. So we highly recommend a premium organic potting mix with a really good slow release fertilizer in there. And what that means is you don't actually have to go out and buy all the nutrients to add to your $2 soil that you may have bought. So this is premium potting mix, and I'm going to show you how to actually pot up your plants using the soil mix. So when you're about to pot up your plant, it's a really good idea to make sure that your soil is slightly moist, not too soggy, because we don't want soggy roots. But if you add a little bit of water to your potting mix, it just makes it that little bit more moist. And what happens is when you actually put your plant in the soil, it tells the roots to go out and find the moisture. And so what that does is helps the roots settle into its new surroundings. We've got all our plants that I ordered online, and now I'm going to pop them up. So here's all our potted plants that we found today. You can do this at your local recycling centres, secondhand shops. It's a really great fun activity, but just remember that you do need your plants to drain, so add the inserts to your new planters.